आफ्टर कोविड और पब्लिक ऑफिस रन करने के बाद बहुत कुछ मैंने सीखा और देखा। अब आपकी दुआओं और बहुत से लोगों के बेहद असरार पर मैं ज़िशान साहब आपसे गुफ्तगू और आप Sunday at 6 p.m. ज़िशान on air में बहुत मजा आएगा and I'm looking forward to it.
Welcome back with Zishan on air. This is Zishan Isaac, and I'm just getting right into our Urdu and Hindi, but that will get started after the first 15 minutes because the first 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes it gets a little bit extended. It's all in English, and I would like to welcome all our viewers all over the world, also in Houston, Greater Houston, and all over the US, because we are live with Facebook, and we're also live with YouTube. So all our social media followers, I welcome you all. And if you have not subscribed my YouTube channel, I would highly encourage you, suggest you, and please click on the bell icon and at the same time subscribe my YouTube channel, because that's how you will get the latest and greatest information, news, and analysis, because I report, you decide. So with that, I would like to jump right into our key topics. First of all, this has been another interesting and very exciting week when it comes to the news. The immigration crackdown is still happening, and it's going with full swing. Trump administration's immigration crackdown hits a new legal roadblock. So this is where some information is coming out. Some judges are blocking, for example, student visas cannot be canceled or revoked. So that's one information. And then with regards to this gentleman who is considered as MS-13 gang member, I would like to just emphasize on this particular aspect also that the court ruling stated that the government is putting, quote, residents of this country in foreign prisons, unquote, without due process. Now, last time in our program, I mentioned this to you that the State Department, as well as not the state, yes, even the State Department, but also with regards to the White House press secretary and what is the position of White House and what is the position of Department of Homeland Security, because according to them, it was very clear, and still they are claiming this, that these are criminals. Abrego Garcia, this person, he is saying in the country illegally, but the judges are saying, and that's where the legal battle is going, that you cannot basically even deport criminals out of the country without due process. And that's where Senator Grassley town hall meetings also spoke loud and clear with regards to all the residents and his constituents in Iowa, where they said that is every person according to the US Constitution. So that's the crux of the matter. With more information, the real story behind Kilmer Abrego Garcia is an MS-13 gang member with a history of violence. That's what Department of Homeland Security has put it out there. So I'm again sharing this, what the government position is. The Department of Homeland Security released a 2019 arrest record of Abrego Garcia, saying he was wearing a Chicago Bulls hat, which police said was a possible symbol of MS-13. So this is reported by credible news organizations. And interestingly, that Wall Street Journal and even others are in the news outlets are reporting this. So we just have to look at all the sites and ensure that we have the facts and news. And this was reported by CBS News as well. Now, Trump signs executive order to influence college accreditations. What is being an accredited college? What that means is that these universities are providing the education with the legal permits, and they are accredited by the Department of Education. So now they are going after the Harvard University, and that's where the president on Wednesday also signed, not the Howard president, but US president, our president, even if you voted for him or not, he is our president. So executive actions to ensure the effectiveness and efficiency of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, make sure school children are adequately raised in artificial intelligence, boost apprenticeships, and allow educators to enforce school discipline policies. So with that, when universities are not performing, appropriately, whether that's in admission or whether that's in their actual instructional activities. That's certainly something that accreditors should be considering, that right now we believe they are not doing a good enough job. That's what Sharf said, and he is obviously speaking with regards to this whole situation. We believe that certain universities, including, for example, Howard, have routinely violated this law, and this law has not been effectively enforced, Sharf said. So this executive order charges your department and agencies with enforcing the laws on the books with respect to foreign gifts to American universities. So I'm just sharing this because this is, again, an area which will continue to go with the legal battle. Dow headed for worse. April since 1932. We still have a couple of business days left in the month of April, and this is by Wall Street Journal. And why is that? Because the investor said, quote, no confidence, unquote, signal. So that's Wall Street Journal, a reputable news outlet in the United States. And Fed's funds rate, how they are set by the Board of Governors in their meetings, in their quarterly meetings, and when they meet. And then there are 9 governors of 7 governors of the Federal Reserve Bank. And these 2 on the left, as you can see, were elected by President Trump in 2018 or 2019. And now the idea here is that Wall Street Journal is reporting that in a social media post on Monday, Trump rejected that last week's demand that the Fed reduce interest rates now. Quote, there is virtually no inflation, unquote, he said. So Chair Jerome Powell as, quote, Mr. Too Late, unquote, and, quote, a major loser, unquote. That's what President Trump said in his social media, Truth Social. Wall Street Journal has also reported Trump is laying the groundwork to blame Powell for any downturn. Remember, Federal Reserve Chair is Jerome Powell, and he basically is elected, and his term will expire next year. That's when a president can appoint anyone from this list, as I'm seeing on, as I'm showing on the screen. So these are the 7 governors of Federal Reserve, and out of the 7, 1 will be the next chair. Right now is Jerome Powell, also nominated by President Trump in his first term as President 45, and now as President 47. Let's see what happens. And these 2, as you can see on the top screen, they could be the potential nominee for the next governor, because these 2 were also appointed by President Trump. With regards to some more information, Trump has for months privately discussed firing Fed Chair Powell. So we'll see how that works. And as you can see on the screen, Jerome Powell addressing, and then Time magazine, when President Donald Trump got reelected for his second term, that's when the Time magazine put this entire Person of the Year edition to recognize him. Some sad news for all those who follow or used to follow Pope Francis. He's no more, and that's where the announcement came from the Vatican. And he basically was the first Latin American pontiff who ministered with a charming, humble style, dies at the age of 88, according to Associated Press, and the funeral is continuing. Some other information with regards to the aspect of what's happening around the world. There is this tourist massacre in Kashmir, which is a disputed territory. There's Indian held Kashmir, and there's also the Pakistan held Kashmir. And there are some terms used that we know from a United Nations aspect. One is called the Indian occupied Kashmir. The other one is called the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. They use their own terms. But Very sad news in terms of this escalating tension now between India and Pakistan. And here's what we know, because the Kashmir attack has happened, and now both countries are arch rivals of each other, arch enemies, unfortunately, although they are neighbors, and then they're also nuclear armed countries. So politicians criticize India's collective punishment. That's reported by Al Jazeera, and some MPs and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He basically is all gung ho in terms of just going to war with the neighbor. And this is, again, we will discuss it more in detail in our program as it gets proceeded. But very sad situation for the people of that region, because it always boils down to the people who suffer. And China vows support to Pakistan, calls for restraint after Pahalgam terror attack. That's the place in this valley of Kashmir. And standoff in UK between the Indian diaspora counters Pakistani protesters over Pahalgam attack. So tensions are high. And again, this is happening, reported by Times of India as well. And the Hindu, which is the newspaper and major news outlet, has reported President Donald Trump, quote, "There has always been tension between India, Pakistan. They will get it figured out." And that's what President Donald Trump basically is saying here. And he has a point, because we know that both countries have gone to several wars. And unfortunately, the way economy is and how things are shaping up because of this tariff situation, President Donald Trump is saying there has always been tensions between India and Pakistan, and the two countries will figure it out between themselves, quote, "one way or the other." So, unquote. Now, the situation is, if they will figure it out themselves, and if any eventuality happens or the war breaks out, it's very easy to start wars, but very difficult to end it, as Donald Trump knows himself, our president, because of what has happened and transpired with this Russia and Ukraine war, and then the October 7th situation, which is still has caused the entire Middle Eastern region in turmoil and chaos, with the Palestine and Israel tensions as well. Indian airlines to suffer higher costs because of the detours that they have to do inbound from Pakistan Airways, because what has happened after this terrorist attack, the government of India, the Modi's government, they have unilaterally canceled the agreement between the Indus Water Treaty, and they have shut down, or claiming that we will shut down the water flowing toward the Pakistan. And this basically was the Indus Water Treaty. And then Pakistan, in retaliation, has shut down the airspace, and they also are saying and claiming that we will also throw away the Shimla Agreement. What is that Shimla Agreement? That is a beautiful hill area in India. And that was the agreement that happened decades ago, where the disputed territory of Kashmir would be resolved between the two countries without any third mediator. So that's where the world leaders need to figure it out, that how we should help these two neighbors so they can live peacefully side by side. But unfortunately, calmer minds are not prevailing. And as you can see on the screen, all these flights from Flight Radar 24 are just going around and away from not using Pakistan's airspace. Last time it happened when the tensions were high was because of the Pulwama attack. There was another attack, and you can Google all of this. That was back in 2019. And for 5 months, Pakistan basically had restricted the Indian airspace. That also caused hundreds and thousands, millions of dollars of additional cost to airlines, and again to people, to passengers. And and also the fighter pilot from India who got captured and then was returned back to Pakistan. And that was during the Imran Khan's government. I'll take calls after this segment. So this is where Air India and then Indigo reroute flights after Pakistan closes airspace, and that's what was reported by Economic Times. And flights, especially from New Delhi, one of the world's busiest airport, and then flights to Middle East, and then flights to the West, especially to Europe and Middle East and North America. Those are now it's taking longer to basically fly because, as you can see on the screen, you have to go across the airspace. Air India, as has reported with regards to due to the announced restriction of Pakistan's. I'm just going to let the people know who are calling that we will take calls after a few minutes. So please bear with me, and I'm putting you on hold. That due to the announced restriction of Pakistan airspace, that is from the Twitter or the X platform of Air India, and I'm reading this verbatim. Due to the announced restrictions of Pakistan airspace for all Indian airlines, it is expected that some Air India flights to or from North America, UK, Europe, and Middle East will take an alternative extended route. Air India regrets the inconvenience caused to our passengers due to this unforeseen airspace closure that is outside of our control. We would like to reiterate that at Air India, the safety of our customers and crew remains top priority. And then they provide some information, and you can contact Air India if you're flying from Air India. But other airlines like Emirates and Turkish Airlines, all those who are flying and using the airspace of Pakistan, they can still fly over Pakistan's airspace, as I was looking at this news as well. So good news to all those who are using Emirates and Turkish Airlines at this point. Kashmir attack, politicians criticize, quote, collective punishment, unquote. This is, again, something which I would say that calmer minds should prevail. And I hope that the governments of both countries, they look out for the welfare and well-being of their countrymen, of their citizens, and ensure that how can we make their lives better, not difficult. That's my analysis on this, and I wish both countries the best. We have a lot of friends from both countries. I can only say that get yourself educated on this India-Pakistan situation, because we don't want to see any kind of even conventional war or conflict in that region, because that is the region. If you look at the entire region, I'm not just talking about India, Pakistan, but let's look at the other countries around that region. You have Afghanistan, you have Bangladesh, it used to be Pakistan or a former East Pakistan. Then it gained independence in 1971. And then you also have Nepal, you have Myanmar, used to be called a different name, which was called Burma, if you all have good knowledge in geography. And then you also have China just there, and then Sri Lanka as well. So a lot of people, I would say close to 2.5 billion plus people, maybe almost 3 billion people, because you have population in Bangladesh as well, huge population. And then Pakistan, I would say at least 240 million or so. And then in India, 1.1 billion, if I'm not mistaken. China, 1.2 billion plus. You have Sri Lanka, and I haven't even counted Sri Lanka's population. And then Burma, or now called Myanmar, and Nepal. And then some other, regional countries as well. And then you have Iran as well in that neighborhood. So very busy neighborhood, let's put it that way. So I hope calmer minds prevail, and the world leaders put pressure on both governments that figure out how you can increase trade with each other, how you can bring people together, instead of talking about wars and warmongering in literally 2025, and today is April 27th. So with that, a lot of information has been shared with you. Please go research and share with your friends and neighbors and others, and please subscribe if you have not, and then we'll continue it here with the Urdu and Hindi translation, and also the rest of the program on the traditional airwaves. And please subscribe my YouTube channel, Zishan On Air on YouTube, and then also with Facebook. With that, signing off. This is Ishan Isaac. Thank you.